Chris, was this your first time dating an African American woman?
No.
And Sophia, was this your first time dating a Caucasian man?
Yes.
I didn't think she liked me after the first date. Or the second. And probably even the third.
That's not true. I thought he was really nice. I just was like, okay, this is all brand new. Yeah.
Oh, I guess I was white?
Partially. Yeah, you were white. Something different, something new.
Snow?
Yes. Whatever you just said, I didn't hear it. But yeah, it was all a new experience.
Some couples experience just trying to kind of be comfortable with each other and not try to be or live up to like stereotypes.
Latia Doctry is a social worker and marriage counselor with the Adult, Children, Adolescent, Marriage, and Family Counseling Center in Maplewood, who has clients that are in interracial relationships.
I think the family dynamics with being accepted by everyone in your family, some families aren't ready for it. And I just encourage them to ask their families to be honest so that they know what they're dealing with, and then they can move forward from there.
My parents didn't, preach that one race was superior or inferior to the other. And, and the whole, you love people with the love of Jesus Christ, regardless of what they look like, who they are, and respect people as long as they respect you. I think that was kind of the open-mindedness. That's where the open-mindedness came from for me.
Images such as Faith Ringgold's Freedom of Speech, a vintage painting of former President Abraham Lincoln, and a wide array of books such as The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas adorn their home. With upcoming August nuptials, the couple describes the proposal.
I just got into bed. It was like, oh yeah, there's like interesting news in the paper, and it was like in the paper, which was kind of corny, but
it was so you.
So sometimes if I have an African American male and a Caucasian female, the Caucasian female might feel that she has to act more black, and then that's the problem because that's not why the male, was attracted to her in the first place. And then vice versa, sometimes the African American male feels that he has to be different and he has to not be so black. And then they run into trying to get along with each other's families, and sometimes those expectations are unrealistic. So I basically work with them on just being who they are and what attracted them to each other in the first place.
But nowadays, interracial is becoming more than just white and black. I see black with Chinese, I see white with, other. So it's more than just white and black. It's still just interracial, and people look at you. Sometimes you have to really not always be so quick to look at how somebody's looking at you, because some people are just, who knows where they come from. They look at you like they've never seen it before. Mm-hmm. I don't know where they come from, where they've never seen it. I just happen to fall in love with a white girl. And we've been married 22 years. Mm-hmm. Still, as my best friend, I love her.
Stones that state love, peace, and smile sit outside of the home of Pam and Ron Johnson. Inside, you'll find some of the same.
After all these years, there's looks that you get sometimes, and sometimes people stare. Mm. You look back at them, and most times people look away if you look back at them, and they just continue to stare, like I'm gonna stare you down. Right. So I don't know what's so strange, but yeah, there are times. So we've been, like you said, pretty blessed not to experience too much negative. Right. But it does. Sometimes I see it. Sometimes I see it and I don't mention it to her. And I'm sure sometimes she sees it and doesn't mention it to me. Right. I guess sometimes she's afraid I might say something, which I wouldn't, but oh yeah, I guess I would. Yeah, what's the problem? What you looking at? But it shouldn't be strange, but it is strange to some people.
And literally, I'll see it and I'm just like, I get offended at other people. Like, yo, don't look at my parents like that. What's wrong with you? I'll slap the heck out of you. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just how I feel.
The parents of 3 and grandparents of 1 discuss why they feel interracial relationships are still taboo.
A lot of it has to do with the way some people are being raised now. I think it starts in the home, and I think that's where it's taught.
There's a lot of closet
problems.
What was it? Racial tensions that are out there, and it's taught to the kids. They don't even know they're teaching it to the kids. They hear the parents talk about things at the table. The kids go and act the same way because that's what they hear. And the kids don't even know why they're saying it because they hear it. Me and her were friends way before we ever thought or talked about going out on a date. Not just dating, just going out on a date. She was a friend of mine. Just like you have people at work that are different from you. You black, they're white, and friends. What's the difference? I asked. What's the difference of being friends? Y'all go out and have beer together or whatever, and all of a sudden you decide to date. Why does it become different when you decide to date?
Whenever we go to grocery stores and he has things in his hand and I have things in my hand, the first question is this all together? Like, it's never the, hi, how are you all? It's the question of, is this all together? Because I guess, he's a white man, I'm a black female, and clearly we can't be buying something together.
When we go to the supermarket and we're standing together and people just don't know that we're together, and they always ask Ron if they can help him, and then they ask me if they can help me, and then we always have to say that, sorry, we're together. Right.
Or, sir, there's a divider there, and not knowing we're together. They just always assume that we're not together.
We'll all be standing together as a family, and maybe mom will usually be in the front or something, and then they'll look at dad like a weird way, like, is he with you? Yeah, he's with me. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's terrible. Like, 2 people can literally be standing next to each other, a
Just
black man and a white woman, with 2 mixed 3, and they're like, oh, are you 2 together? Of course they're together. And especially, when you're out in like maybe a ritzy area, you know what I mean, like ritzy or something, and they see dad with mom, and they're like, okay, like, is this woman being abducted or something? It's not a joke, it's serious.
I recently had a couple who were together for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Right now they're struggling with getting older and the expectations of where they want to be, when they want to retire, where they want to retire, what community would be accepting for them, kind of at their age, the retirement community. And they're starting to fight now. And I'm like, but you've been together for 30 years. What's kept it together for 30 years? But I see the dynamics changing a little bit.
Ignorance is everywhere. And if we let, microaggressions or certain things, like, bother us to a space where, we then question our relationship, then this isn't a relationship at all if, like, that happens.
We didn't get seated at one time in Ocean City, and
Oh, yeah.
I got really mad.
Yeah.
And I feel like it had something to do with that.
Yeah, a guy told us to wait, be sat, and then 2 other people came up, and he just automatically assumed they were part of a party already inside, and it's just like...
But nobody asked us if we were part of that party.
Yeah. This is really mad. Like, really mad.
Like, I could have broken something mad.
Oh, yes.
But as far as newly being into it or giving it a try, just don't be so quick to jump to conclusions.
Stick it out, and if you're in love, it will prevail in the end.
You can't determine or base, like, who you're going to love, who you're going to be with, or who you're going to be friends with on the color of your skin, because it's definitely about the person, the character, and how you fuse with people.
It's becoming more and more popular. I mean, people just don't look at color anymore. They look at what's inside the person. Life is hard enough, and there's going to be challenges.
If
Because there's still, people are still prejudiced.
And racism will always, unfortunately, be alive.
At the end of the day, we're in this together. Good, bad, or ugly.